of the Indian Evidence Act, which deal with the, yeah. In the last lecture, we substantially dealt with the provisions of section 63, 65, 65A, 65B. So please note that section 63, 65 relating to secondary evidence are known as general provisions, followed by section 66, requirement of giving notice. Whereas section 65A and B are substantive proceedings, are special proceeding only dealing with the requirement of obtaining certificate, secondary evidence relating to electronic documents. Understood? A separate provisions. So from the meaning of section 59, we learned that you cannot give oral evidence for proving electronic evidence. That is the language of section 59. And they cannot be oral confession also. They cannot be oral confession with regard to oral admission with regard to electronic evidence. That you learn also under section 22A of the Evidence Act. Now, today's purpose, of course, we dealt with here, the fundamental point is that here, subsection 4 of section 65B is mandatory. Now it is held to be mandatory in view of the judgment of the Supreme Court, recent judgment in Arjun Panditrao Kotkar's case, that is rendered recently by the Honorable Supreme Court, where there was initially there was a legal conundrum pertaining to the requirement of certificate produced in electronic references under section 65. Now this conundrum or enigma has been solved by the Supreme Court itself after having given several conflicting judgments. So I would like to take you through why this Arjun Pandit Rao Kotkar's case, which was a reference made by the two judges to the larger bench, which came in the fact that here the Supreme Court in Navjot Sadhu's case had taken the view that that is a parliament attack case. I had mentioned to you that secondary evidence with regard to electronic evidence can also be given via section 63 and 65, which has not been approved by the later bench. That is in the case of the case which arose from the Kerala High Court. That is what is the name of the case? Anybody can refer to me? That is Bashir's case, isn't it? Anwar PV versus PV Bashir 2015. Then Temasco Barno's case, subsequently, that is 2015, is per inquirium. It is also a three-bench judgment. And the interesting part is that here, Temasco Barno's judgment was a three-bench judgment in which one of the judges was Justice Kurian Joseph. Please note that Justice Kurian Joseph was a party to two judgments. The earlier judgment in the case of Anwar versus Bashir 2015. But for some reason, his lordship was not able to give a dissenting note in the judgment of Temasco Barno's case, or write a note placing on record the earlier stand was different. And I'll point out to you how the mistake has happened. But fortunately, all the previous mistakes have been rectified in Arjun Pandit Rao Kotkar's case, that is 2020. Before Arjun Pandit Rao, I take you through the first judgment which I pointed to you on this point was number one, the state of Delhi versus Navjot Sindhu's case. This, I do not want to waste my time today on this. Already we read out last time. The division bench of the Supreme Court took the view that here, in the parliament attack case here, primary evidence can be proved taking resort to section 63 and 65 of the Indian Evidence Act when parties cannot prove under section 65B subclause 4 That means when certificate is not obtained. That was the crux of the case before Navjot Sandhu's case, which view has been set aside by the Supreme Court itself in the subsequent judgment in Anwar Pasa's case. That I will take you through the Anwar's case. Now, I will request Himanshu or Ashish, any one of you, please take out the judgment of the Supreme Court in Anwar P.K. Bashir versus Anwar Bashir, that is reported in 18 September 2014. वो तो निकाल लीजिए. This is a very important landmark judgment. This is a landmark judgment in the sense that here, this judgment has been approved by the Supreme Court in the present Arjun Panditrao Khotkar's case. Now, please note that here, Anwar PV versus PK Bashir, 8 September 2015, the strength of the bench is 3 judges. When you see the judgment of Chief Justice R.M. Lodha, Justice Kurian Joseph, and Justice Rohinton Nariman. Justice Rohinton Nariman has been party to at least 3 judgments in this matter under 65B. That is, also he was a party to the earlier judgment, which has been overruled or set aside. That is the case of the Supreme Court in Tomasco Barno's case. Tomasco Barno's case, I'll read you. Now, let us first understand what was the issue before the Supreme Court in Anwar's case. Anwar PV versus PK Bashir. When you kindly just open, relevant paragraph I'll point out, which pertains to the evidence. I'm not, because the judgments are quite lengthy and big narration effect. We will touch only, this was an election petition. This was an election petition challenging the Kerala Legislative Assembly, which was held in the year 2011. The United Democratic Front Party and Congress Party, those were the parties in question. A petition was filed under section 101B and 123 of the Representation of People's Act on the allegation that here the election was tainted with fraud, the winning candidate and the losing candidate. So the losing candidate files that election petitions are filed directly in the High Court. They don't go to district court, small causes court or civil court. It's a original jurisdiction of the High Court. Please note, it should be tried like a criminal trial because these are serious in nature. Now, how this matter came before the Supreme Court, I will tell you. The relevant portion which I will be discussing with you is that here is paragraph number 14. Paragraph number 14, the Supreme Court said that whether the election of the respondent is liable to be set aside for any of the grounds mentioned in the election petition. Now, to substantiate the contention that fraud has been played and the defendant has committed breaches under the Representation of People's Act, he led substantial evidence. See that here, paragraph number 14 के अंदर नीचे आ जाइए आप. After the evidence consists of 3 parts, namely electronic record, documentary evidence, other than electronic record, oral evidence. Then a major thrust in the argument was on the electronic record, which we shall deal with it. So we are also concerned with the electronic record. So yesterday we dealt substantially with section 65B on the matter. Now, then see that. Then the Supreme Court recording under section 22A, oral admission with regard to contents of electronic evidence are relevant. Oral admissions as to the content of electronic evidence are not relevant unless genuineness of the electronic record produced under 45A is produced. Then these are the provision. Then section, relevant section also is a 59, which I discussed yesterday with you. Section 59 does not permit you to prove the contents of the electronic record by leading oral evidence. So I need not again repeat it here. Okay. Then section 65 के बारे में extensively dealt. I will not repeat section 65 again. We already read it last time on the last lecture substantially. So what is the principal requirement under section 64 is that here, when you have produced electronic record, if you produce the original document, your own cell phone, containing the events, videography, that becomes a primary evidence which is dealt here. But now, what the Supreme Court is principally dealing in this matter, the video, CDs and other things which are recorded are transmitted into other CDs and other form. You have been sending it to various people. When other people want to prove it, how it can be done, the principal points are in that regard. Yes. Then, yes. If you turn to the paragraph number, the next page, next page, see that is a paragraph dealing with under section 65(4)(b) of the Evidence Act. You see that? If it is desired to give statements in any proceeding pertaining to electronic record, it is permissible provided following conditions are satisfied. Now, the Supreme Court is laying down the condition number A. There must be a certificate which identifies the electronic record containing the statement which we discussed yesterday. B, the certificate must describe the manner in which electronic record was produced. So, how it is produced and procured by you? Your friend sent it here. Name of the friend must be disclosed. From which machine is using, which mobile phone is using, must be disclosed. Number 3, the certificate must furnish the particulars of the device involved in the production of the record. So, you must identify the device, whether you are using an iPhone, whether it is some other phone, Nokia phone, कौन सी company का use कर रहे हैं आप पे, number, whatever manufacturing defect is. Yeah. Then the certificate must deal with the applicable condition mentioned in 65(2). So, it must be in a working condition. It must be in a condition was one of the condition paramount laid down under section 65(b) subclause 2 wherein. Then the certificate must be signed by the person occupying responsible official position in relate to operation of the relevant role. So, the officer who is signing it, he must disclose his designation. So, these are the basic requirement here. Then you come here, then item number C that यहाँ पे आता है, Evidence Act does not contemplate permit the proof of electronic record by oral evidence. वो सीख चुके हैं हमने. Then there is a discussion on Navjot Sidhu's case. In NCT of Delhi versus Navjot Sindhu. So this finally this is very important. They are overruling the judgment here. You got it here? In state NCT of Delhi versus Navjot Sidhu alias Afsan Guru. It is a paragraph number, उसी paragraph में down below है. Paragraph number, which is the relevant paragraph we are dealing. Paragraph number 14. 14 में down में आ जाइए. मिला? In state NCT of Delhi versus Navjot Sandhu alias. Got it? You got it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. This is very important. Pay attention here. This is a crucial aspect touching the validity of section 65A, how they overruled this Navjot Sindhu. Because in the case of Parliament attack case, Navjot's case, the two-bench judgment, the two-bench judgment was rendered by whom? All of you know that here. I had given you the two judges' name, Justice Reddy and Justice, who is the other judge? Can anybody recall it here? Okay, no problem. You just remember two judges' bench. Two judges' bench had given a judgment. Now, what do they say here? In the state versus state Navjot Sindhu's case, the two-bench of this court had an occasion to consider the issue of protection of electronic evidence while considering the printout of computerized record of the call pertaining to cell phone. It was held in paragraph number 120 as under, 150 as under. Please note that 150 is important. The judgment of Navjot Sindhu is reported in, the 2005-11 SCC, page number 600. The judgments were rendered by Justice P. Venkatraman Reddy and Justice Valukar. Justice Valukar are the judges. That is important. Now, let us see what do they mention. According to section 63, you got it here? This is the finding recorded in Navjot's case. According to section 63, secondary evidence mean and include, among other things, copies made from the original by mechanical process, which in themselves ensure the accuracy of the copy and the copy compared with the copies. This much is fine. Then see, section 65 enables secondary evidence of the content of a document to be adduced if original is of such nature as not to be easily movable. It is not in the dispute that the information contained in the call record stored in huge servers which cannot be easily moved and proved in the court. This is what the High Court has also observed in paragraph number 276. Hence, printout taken out from the computers, servers by mechanical process and certificate by a responsible officer of a serving providing company can be led in evidence through a witness who can identify the signature of the identifying officer or otherwise speak of the facts based on the personal knowledge. Irrespective of the compliance of the requirement of 65B, which a provision dealing with the admissibility of electronic record, there is no bar to adducing secondary evidence under other provisions of Evidence Act. This has been overruled. In this particular bench, I'll come to know that here. As namely section 63-65. So according to the two-bench judgment in Navjot Sudhi's case, you can also resort to section 63 and 65 of the Evidence Act, namely Xerox copies can be produced and the certified copies can be produced and there is no need to get certificate. That's what it means. Then it may be that a certificate containing the details under subsection 4 BBC is not filed in the instant case. That is a Parliament attack in Navjot Sindhu's case, it was not filed. But it doesn't mean that secondary evidence cannot be given if the law permits such evidence be given in the circumstances mentioned in the relevant provision, namely 63 and 65. It may be seen that it was the case where responsible officers had duly certified the document at the time of the protection itself. The signature in the certificate was also identified. This is apparently in compliance with the procedure prescribed under section 65 of the Evidence Act. However, it was held that irrespective of the compliance, the requirement of 65B, which is a special provision dealing with the admissible electronic record, there is no bar in adducing secondary evidence under 63-65 of the electronic law. So these are the observations of the Honorable Supreme Court two-judge benches in Afsan Guru's case, Navjot Sindhu's case. Now, what does the present Supreme Court just say now? See, the evidence relating to electronic record, as noted herein above, herein before, being a special provision, the general law on secondary evidence under 63 and 65 of the Evidence Act shall yield to the same. So this is the observation in Anwar's case. It appears that the court omitted to take notice of section 59, 65A dealing with the admissibility of electronic record. So this comment, the three-bench judge in Anwar Pasha's case are commenting about the two judges in the case of Navjot Sindhu's case. Then see, section 63-65 had no application in the case of a secondary evidence by way of electronic record, but the same is wholly governed by 65A and 65B. To that extent, the statement of law on the admissibility of secondary evidence pertaining to electronic record, as stated in Navjot Sindhu, does not lay down the correct legal position. It requires to be overruled, and we do so. So, in short, the three-bench judges, the judges of the Supreme Court in the Anwar's case, by virtue of the judgment at 18 September 2014, the bench of Justice Loda, Chief Justice Loda, Justice Kurian Joseph, and Rohinton Nariman have overruled the earlier judgment of the Supreme Court in Navtesh Sindhu's case. This is the law. So I want to stop it here for this matter now, because there are other relevant observations. But one more important aspect here is, in this judgment, the Supreme Court, while overruling the judgment of the Navjot Sindhu's case and holding that section 65B, A and B are substantive proceeding and special law. The special law you learned under the provisions of interpretation of statute, a special law overrides the general law. So according to the Supreme Court, the provisions of section 63 and 65 of the Evidence Act are general law relating to relating to secondary evidence. Whereas section 65A and 65B are special law relating to electronic evidence. One thing is clear. Now, in next down paragraph, what about the whether it is a primary evidence or not? Now, under section 62 of the Evidence Act, you learned that the original document is a primary evidence, isn't it? Section 62 mein padh chuke humne yesterday. I won't repeat again. Now, to that extent, what does the Supreme Court say? You please see that here. The next paragraph, see that here. The appellant admittedly has not produced any certificate under the terms of 65A in respect of, therefore, the same cannot be admitted. So the evidence was set aside. In the Kerala's case, in Anwar case, the election petition was set aside, was held that not good evidence has been thrown out by the court on the ground certificate is not good. Now, next paragraph. The situation would have been different had the appellant adduced primary evidence by making available in evidence the CD used for announcement of the song. The CD means the original CD. The original CD. But had those CD used for objectionable song, announcement being duly got seized through the police or election commission, and the same would have been as primary evidence. The High Court could have played the same in the court so that the allegations were true. This is not the situation in the present case. The speeches, songs, and announcements were recorded using the instrument and by feeding them in a computer CD were made therefrom, and they were produced in the court without due certification. The CD cannot be admitted in evidence since mandatory requirement of 65B of the Evidence Act not satisfied. It is therefore clarified that notwithstanding what we have stated herein, the proceeding, the secondary evidence with section 59, 65AB, if electronic record as such is used as a primary evidence under section 62, then the same is admissible. So, there are two things to be noted from this judgment. Number one, it says that section 65A and B are substantive proceeding or they are special proceeding. And it says that obtaining certificate under subsection 4 of section 65B is mandatory. Without that, secondary evidence cannot be given. Number 3, it is permissible for a party to use the original CD, the video recorded from the original CD under section 62 primary evidence. In that event, you don't require certificate. And number 4, the judgment of the 2 judges bench in Nautej Sandhu's case has been overruled. So please note this. This is a very important landmark judgment. I will keep aside the judgment. Now the next judgment, after this judgment was given by the Supreme Court, please note down the dates. Dates are very important. Judgment of Navjot Sidhu judgment was the dates are very important. Now, Bashir's case is 18 September 2018. 1 minute. Yeah. And the judgment of the Navjot Sidhu was given on 4th of August 2005. Please note that 4th August 2015. Then the second judgment by the 3 judges which overruled the judgment was given on 18 September 2018. Now then what happens? Then the third judgment, then see the next position will be, now despite the law laid down in Anwar's case, then again 3-bench judgment in Tomasco Berners case. Tomasco Berners case, please open it up. Anybody is having the copy? I will give the citation. Tomasco Berners case is Ashish. That is 2005 7 SCC, page number 178. Nikale aapne?
Yes, sir.
This is a judgment dated 28 January 2015. And very interesting, Justice Kurian Joseph also was a party to this judgment. The senior judge who led the argument was Justice Anil R. Dave. Number 2, Justice Kurian Joseph. Number 3, Justice R. Bhanumati, who just recently retired from the Honorable Supreme Court. Now, here the judgment is, what you could say that very noteworthy for various purposes. It does not take into consideration the earlier judgment. I will give you, before I criticize, before I give comments on the judgment, whether what it is, let us understand the facts of this case. Just open the judgment, please. This Tomasco Burner and Eliza Beta Bon campaign and one Francis Mortis. These are all 3 Italian tourists. They came from England to Mumbai in the year 2009. Then after sightseeing various places, they go to Varanasi. So Varanasi में जाने के बाद, there are 2 boys and 1 girl, all young people. One girl and a boy, they develop intimacy. They take a hotel and start staying in the Varanasi. One fine day, in the morning about 4 a.m., the girl and boy, that is Tomasco Burno and Eliza, they too go alone for sightseeing, leaving aside the other man, the third friend. And he was sulking and very sad. There is evidence come on record. He was very unwell, and the excuse given by these 2 people that he was not keeping well, had fever. Then in the morning when they came, his dead body was found. So apart from these 3 people, these 3 friends, there were no visitors, in fact, coming and going in the premises. Now the trial court, the session court, as well as the high court, gave a finding that based upon circumstantial evidence, there being only 3 persons and nobody else, the murder could have been only committed by these 2 friends who became intimate, and which fact was not appreciated by the victim, and they wanted to get rid of him. They killed him by strangulation. So there's a medical report about asphyxia, that is a death due to strangulation, which is on record. Now, when the matter when there's a concurrent finding of conviction of circumstantial evidence against the accused person, 2 accused person. Now the Supreme Court ke paas, when the matter went, I am discussing specially the electronic media evidence and all. The relevant pages, you see the complaint, paragraph number 22 ke andar, the hotel management mein, the Supreme Court said that here, hotel management, they did not examine the CCTV camera footage. The Supreme Court took up the view that the investigations were very faulty. Now, what I want to emphasize here is that here, now please come to paragraph number 25. 24 ke andar the Supreme Court says, the trial court and the high court ignored the crucial aspect of non-protection. Please see that paragraph number 24. The trial court, paragraph number 24. The trial court as well as the high court ignored the crucial aspect of non-protection of CCTV footage. The trial court and high court relied only on the oral testimony of Ram Singh, hotel manager, then between so and so. So in short, the CCTV footage was not produced before the court, despite the fact that the hotel had such a facility. Then paragraph number 25 mein aa jaiye aap. So there is a comment about section 65A. So the Supreme Court doesn't stop, 3 bench. Now with the advancement of the information technology, scientific temper in the individual and the situation level to pervade the method of investigation with the increasing impact of technology in everyday life and the result, the protection of electronic evidence in cases has been relevant to establish the guilt of the accused and the liability of the defendant. So Then electronic documents, documents, strict senses are admitted in material evidence with amendment to the Indian Evidence Act, so and so. So this is the observation with regard to the Supreme Court when there is section 65A in the picture. Why electronic evidence is not collected? That is what it to say. I don't want to waste my time reading it. This is the opinion given by the Supreme Court, and right opinion in my view. Then paragraph number 26 में आ जाइए. Protection of scientific electronic evidence in the court contemplated under 65 of the Evidence Act of great help to you. So they have discussed the case of Muhammad Ajmal's Amir's case. This is paragraph number 20 के अंदर Muhammad Ajmal Bombay case, that is a Pakistani terrorist who was convicted. Then they are discussing Ahmad case, wherein the protection of transcript of internet transaction of a great help actually. Similarly, in the case of state NCT Delhi Navjot Sindhu Guru, Afsan Guru, the links between the slain terrorists and the mastermind of the attack were established only through the cell phone, so and so. The learned three judges in this particular matter have not recorded a finding that the judgment of Navjot Sindhu was overruled. As I read it to you right now, in Bashir's case, it was overruled. That is not mentioned anywhere. And curiously, what is important is the judgment of Bashir's case was headed by whom? By Justice, the judgment was rendered by Justice Kurian himself, Kurian Joseph. And Justice Kurian Joseph, I did not know, for some reason has signed the judgment blindly without pointing out that the judgment of Navjot Sindhu has been overruled. Isn't it? That is one lacuna in this judgment. For some reason, it may be a mistake, it may be through oversight, it may be omission. Now, further you see that. In what is important, I am just paragraph number 27 ke andar again they are discussing about the CCTV, important of TDSEVA. Then 28 ke andar 114G, presumption when a document is not produced to drawing adverse inferences. I won't deal with it. Then paragraph number 29, they say that here there was no application made to the trial court under section 233 CRPC. That is the right of the accused person to lead evidence. You know that when the prosecution has closed the case, the session judge is not under obligation to ask the defense to read evidence. The session court has the discretion to dismiss the case. When the prosecution begins, the session court may tell the accused, you need not leave any defense because I am not satisfied. But in the present case, when the judge says that lead evidence, section 233 of the CRPC that you learned last time, I won't dwell with it. Then they are discussing about 114G of the Evidence Act, where adverse inference can be drawn for not protection. Then come to, please come to so what is important here is, in this judgment, the honorable three-bench judges, head by Justice Anil Dave, Justice Kurian Joseph, and Justice Bhanumati, did not, despite the law declared in Anwar's case, there was a deviation. Anwar's case is not this case. When a case of the Supreme Court is not discussed, do you know what it is called? Judgment given per inquirium. क्या बोलते हैं? Judgment rendered. It is per inquirium. Inquirium means after hearing both the parties, placing on record everything.
Sir, is it allowed to give Supreme Court judgments per inquirium? I mean, other cases, unless it's a unique case, how can you give judgment per inquirium?
Judgment, because it's a three-bench judges, they should have taken into consideration the judgment given by another coordinate bench. a coordinate bench in the case of Anwar's case has held that Section 65B is mandatory, certificate must be obtained. Whereas in Barno's case, Tabasco Barno's case, the judges are totally omitting about it. Now you will see that that observation about 65A and B, I'll point out to you paragraph number 25. 25 में check करो आप. They are discussing here in the middle the computer generated electronic message and evidence are admissible at a trial provided in the manner 65B of the Evidence Act. 65B makes admissible a document, paper print, electronic record, so and so. Secondary evidence of the content of document also held under 65. Now, secondary evidence cannot be, this is not a correct observation, because secondary evidence of the content of document cannot be given under 65. That is what Anwar's case judgment says that. 63 and 65 is a general law, isn't it? So there is a misstatement with regard to that here, and they are relying upon the judgment of Nautaj Sidhu, which has been overruled, which is not pointed out in this judgment. And unfortunately, Justice Kurian Joseph, who was the judge who gave the judgment, delivered judgment in Anwar's case, should have pointed out. There is no need to make a reference to Nautaj Sidhu in the present matter, which has been overruled. आप समझे ना आप? The judgment which has been overruled पे आ चुका है इसके अंदर. So that is called when a judge, the previous judgment of the Supreme Court, which is existing on record, is not brought to the attention of the subsequent board, the judgment is per inquirium. That is why when you see the judgment में कोई भी कोर्ट के लिखेंगे PC लिखेंगे वो लोग. When judges do not sign the order, like Babri Masjid's case, is not signed, the name of the judge is not mentioned. Isn't it? Can you see that? The judgment is per inquiry, in the sense you cannot see the judge's name. So it is the order, it is the entire order of the court itself. So that you must have learnt it in your provisions of Interpretation Act. I won't deal with it now. For our purpose, we have to see that here. So
no, sir, we didn't learn it like the way you teach, so we don't know that portion at all.
ठीक है, बात देखा जाएगा, वो बात देखें. So at the moment, so this judgment of the Supreme Court in Tabasco Barno versus State of UP is not a good law. I will point out to you for the reason here. Then after this judgment, then that you will find the comment also about the judgment in the present judgment of the Supreme Court in Arjun Panditrao Khotkar's case that is given in 2020. Judgment was given by the Honorable Supreme Court recently only, which will give you. Isn't it? Panditrao's case. Now they came, forget this, so much of misunderstanding has caused, a conundrum has taken place. Now in Shafi Muhammad's case, you got it? Shafi Muhammad nikal liya aap? The fourth judgment is Shafi Muhammad, that is 3rd April 2018. No, उससे पहले भी और एक जजमेंट है शफी मोहम्मद का. शफी मोहम्मद का देखिए जरा. शफी मोहम्मद वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ हिमाचल प्रदेश. So Tomasco Burner is a per inquirium. It is a judgment not taking into consideration various judgments. Now I will take you to the judgment of the next judgment of the Supreme Court in the case of there are two judgments of Shafi Muhammad's case. Please note that. Number one, Shafi Muhammad judgment is given 2018 to SCC. एक मिनट. Shafi Muhammad, yes. Shafi Muhammad, yes. I got Shafi Muhammad. Tabasco is overruled. I am keeping it here. Wait, another judgment which I want to make a reference. Yeah, Shafi Mohammed number 2. Yeah, Shafi Mohammed के 2 judgment है. Please check out first Ashish. Judgment dated 3rd April 2018. Shafi Mohammed versus State of Himachal Pradesh, 30th January 2018. The bench is 2 judges, Justice U Lalit and Justice A.K. Goel. मिले आपको?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now the first paragraph says that one of the questions which arose in the course of consideration the matter was whether videography of the scene of crime or a scene of recovery during investigation should be necessary to inspire confidence in evidence. Now videography evidence के लिए various section लगते हैं under the Evidence Act. For example, section 65A secondary evidence, primary रहेगा तो उसके अंदर section 6, 7, 8 भी लगेगा. I'll discuss with you. Crime necessary to inspire confidence. Then paragraph number 2, while discussing the ambit of the powers of section 65 में, the Supreme Court says that here, I want to read it when you go home properly. They say that obtaining of a certificate is not mandatory. Please note that. In this judgment, the Supreme Court said, in the interest of justice, equity, and good conscience, Supreme Court can waive the condition. That paragraph is paragraph number 9. Paragraph number 9 check करो आप. 9 है 12 है. The election record दिया गया है. Data. The second last paragraph पे देखिए. The applicability of procedural requirement. You got it here? Second last paragraph. 12 के अंदर 13 is last. You got it? The applicability of procedural requirement of 65B of the Evidence Act of furnishing certificate is to be applied only when such electronic record is produced by a person who is in a position to produce a certificate, being in control of the device and not of the opposite party. I mean, the onus is upon the person who has to produce it. Now, in a case where electronic evidence is produced by a party who is not in possession of a device, applicability of 63 and 65 cannot be held to be excluded. So this bench is again making mistake. This bench is not discussing or invoking the earlier judgment of the Supreme Court in the case of Anwar Pasa's case, Anwar's case. Again, the Anwar's case is bypassed here also. Then see that here, in such a case, the procedure under the section can certainly be invoked. If that is not permitted, it will be denial of justice to the person who is a possession of authentic evident witness, but on account of manner of proving such document is kept out of the consideration by the court in the absence of certificate under 65B, the Evidence Act, which partly producing cannot possibly secure. Thus, the requirement of certificate under 65 is not always mandatory. Got it here? There is a contradictory finding. There is a contradictory finding to the Anwar judgment. That is, Anwar judgment is 18 September 2014, whereas the judgment of the Supreme Court in Shafi Mohammad's case is 30th January 2001. After 4 months also, the division, that this smaller bench doesn't want to agree or discuss the implications of the judgment of a 3-bench judge, which not say that. Yeah. Next is point is thus the requirement of certificate under 65B is not always mandatory. Accordingly, we certify that the legal position on the subject on admissibility of the electronic record, especially by a party who is not in possession of the device of which document is produced, such party cannot be required to produce certificate under 65B of the Evidence Act. The possibility of requirement of certificate procedural can be relaxed whenever interest of justice justifies. But in my first lecture, I mentioned to you that there is no room for justice, equity, and good conscience in under Evidence Act. Evidence Act is a very strict procedure where the civil courts who are invoking the provisions of the Indian Evidence Act, they must prove the case to the tilt, relying upon the provisions of admissibility, relevancy of the document, and there is no room for justice, equity, and good. But the learned two judges here, Justice Lalit and Justice Goyal, have taken a contradictory view, bypassing the mandate laid down by the three-bench judgment in Anwar Pasha's case. Okay, leave aside. Now, this is happened. Then the same parties, again, Shafi Muhammad versus Himachal Pradesh, take out 3rd April 2018. 3rd April 2018 check करें यहाँ पे. Now, this is a judgment. Same parties. The senior judge was Justice Adarsh Kumar Goyal, and sitting along with him was Justice Fali Nariman, Rohinton Nariman. So, Justice Nariman is also a party to Shafi Muhammad's case, and he was also a party. He was also a judge while rendering Anwar Pasha's case in 2014. Please that here, the bench of Justice Loda, Justice Kurian Joseph, Justice Nariman. So Justice Nariman also has not pointed out that there is an existing judgment of three-bench judges which have taken the view that Section 65B is mandatory and not a procedural requirement. It's a substantive special law which cannot be bypassed. So when you see the inside judgment, and paragraph number 2, paragraph number 3, technicalities cannot be dealt with. They are again in paragraph number 3 ke andar, this bench also committing an error by relying upon Tomasco Burner's case, which is per inquirium, and they are also discussing about Navtejas Sidhu, paragraph number 4 mein. But this judgment is not saying a word, anything about the. Then again in paragraph number 10, आप check कर लीजिए आप. Paragraph number 10 maybe they are discussing various cases including Tomasco Burner and state of UP and Ajmal Kasab's case and state of Delhi Navtej Sidhu, which has been expressly overruled. 2014 में ओवररूल हुआ है, लेकिन 2018 में नो डिस्कशन. It appears Supreme Court judges are overburdened. समझे ना आप? So that is why they are not discussed it here. And ultimately, when there are so many conflicting judgments on 65B, so this legal conundrum, or you may call it a legal enigma. Of course, enigma is a mystery which cannot be solved. A conundrum can be solved. Isn't it? A conundrum is a minor problem. Bible के अंदर बोलते हैं, Bible के अंदर enigma mean a puzzling or a inexplicable occurrence or a situation. But here it's a situation which can be cured. Now, fortunately, the matter ultimately, in the wake of these so many conflicting judgments, now the present judgment, kindly just see, that is a Arjun Panditrao Khotkar's case. Just I will give you a brief narration as to how this matter came and how does the Supreme Court set aside and lays a stamp of approval on the three-bench judgment in Anwar's case and set aside the other judgments. Please open your paragraph number 1 से शुरू करो, बोलता हूं मैं. Yes. पेज नंबर यहाँ से जजमेंट शुरू होता है. Yes. पेज नंबर यहाँ पे 17 से शुरू होता है जजमेंट इनका, SCC का. प्लीज ओपन है अर्जुन पंडितराव खेडकर केस. आशीष. Justice Nariman is leading this bench, 3 bench judges. Justice Nariman, Justice Ravindra Bhatt, and Justice Ram Subramaniam, the 3 judges, eminent judges of the Supreme Court, presently occupying the Supreme Court, their chair. Now, the reason why this Arjun Pandit came, Arjun Pandit, is a case which was filed in the Bombay High Court. It's an election petition which was filed by the respondent before the Bombay High Court under section 80 and 81 of the Representation of People's Act. Now, what happened? The Shiv Sena BJP combined candidate won the election in Jalna legislative constituency, and the Congress I candidate lost it. Congress I candidate is the respondent Kailash. Kailash ne petition filed kiya. Now, the principal grievance before the High Court was that here, the nomination papers were filed by the written candidate, that is Arjun Pandit Rao, were not in time. The time fixed was 3 p.m. उन्होंने कहा कि 3:30 बजे प्रोड्यूस किए हैं. There was a photography, videography of all of the inside, outside, everything before the court. सब कुछ है. But this paragraph में आपको मिलेंगे, when you open paragraph number 32 के अंदर narration of 3.132 के अंदर narration दिया गया है. Then paragraph number 33 चेकिए. In order to buttress the submission, respondent sought to rely upon video camera arrangement. This is where I'm concerned with the videography. Video. Time कितना आशीष अभी? Hello? Hello?
7:33.
7:33. Shall we take a small break?
Yes.
All,
Okay, sir.
all are agreeable?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. We'll 5 minutes. We'll have a cup of tea. I'll also have a cup of tea. आप लोग भी चाय पी के आ जाइए. I will discuss this big judgment. This will occupy the rest of the lecture and we'll wind up today. Okay? चाय पी लीजिए. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.